Hi, hello, vanakkam, and welcome back to yet another episode on Little Slaw YouTube channel. So, in our Little Slaw YouTube channel, we have discussed about a lot many tools like JMeter, Neoload, and LoadRunner. So, in this series of videos, we are going to see about K6, the latest load testing tool in the market, which has created huge waves in testing the APIs. So, we will see from step from the for the beginners who are interested to learn, and for those who are in intermediate, I can help you with more advanced techniques with K6. So before we move on to the installation, so I will tell you what is K6. So K6 is an open source load testing tool which is focused on simplicity and ease of use, and this allows us to write performance tests in JavaScript. So some of few things about K6 is it is a JavaScript based testing. So the tests are written in JavaScript, and this allows us to easily script complex scenarios and leverage JavaScript libraries. Since JavaScript libraries are very huge in number, so we can leverage the support of JavaScript libraries. And the second thing is the scenario based testing. So we can define scenarios that simulate different user behaviors such as browsing, purchasing, etc. CLI driven. So K6 can be run from command line, which makes it easy to automate test in continuous integration pipelines. And the last thing is the metrics and outputs. So K6 provides detailed performance metrics during and after the test, which can be used for analysis and reporting. So now with no further ado, let's go to the installation. So if you are using a Windows machine, make sure you have installed the Chocolatey package manager, and once you install a Chocolatey package manager, you can install any supporting tools like what you do in the Linux. So first let me type the Choco install K6, and this will ask for yes or no to continue. So I'm typing Y, the S. So now the installation has started. So this has now, okay, let me change it to the admin mode. Let me exit this one and let me open partial in admin mode, because that will give me enough privileges to install. So let me again go back and type choco install K6. So this has given me the additional privileges. So I'm installing the chocolate in my machine. Sorry, the K6. So K6 is installed now. So let's now move on to the next steps. So now we have completed our installation, and now we will create a simple local script to do a testing. So this is basically testing a HTTPS URL, and to test that we will have to import the HTTP from K6 HTTP colon, and then again I'm going to import sleep from K6. Then I'm going to close it with the K6, the semicolon, and then I'm going to export the default function. And now I'm going to get the function. So this is going to be a get function, and the URL is the pet store URL. So this is going to be a get function, and I'm closing this with a semicolon. And then I'm going to wait. I'm going to add a sleep time of 1 second. So that is how I'm going to save. So now I'm going to save this inside C drive as K6 folder, and this is going to be my first test script.js. So we have to say, since I told you in the very beginning, so this has to be saved as a JavaScript file. So I'm just saving this as a JS file. So this is going to be test script.js, and I'm going to save this. So what did I do is, so the first line is I'm going to import HTTP from K6 HTTP, and then I'm going to import the sleep, which I'm using this in this statement. So this is a sleep command, and then I'm going to export the default function. So here you can see I'm testing, or I'm hitting a request, which is basically a get request, and I've saved it. And let's now go to the partial. So how to execute the test. So let me just maximize the command, the partial command. So here now I'm in C drive. So the command to run this in the CLI mode is to run k6 run test script.js. So here you can see the file could not be found. So as I told you, the file is not in this particular location and it is in a different location. So we have to cd into that directory and then we have to run the command. So once you run the command, automatically you can see here the k6.io image with the scenarios. I have got one scenario with one virtual user and it has got 10 minutes and 30 seconds of max duration. And also you can see the entire data, the data received, the data sent, the HTTP request blocked, the HTTP request connecting. So every metric you can see it in this line here. So this is completed. So there are like 0 of one virtual user, it's completed. So with that, we have executed our first test. So in case if I want to add more users, what can I do? So in that scenario, I have to run the following command, which is k6 run minus minus views. So for this example, I'm going to run 20 users. And what about the duration? So this we normally in any tool we give the duration in the thread group or in the test duration or in the controller. So here we can give directly in the command line. So I'm going to run this test for 1 minute. And what is the script? So it is going to be the test script.js. So the syntax goes like this. So we have to start with ks run and then the number of virtual users, the duration, and then finally the test script which we're going to run. And when I click enter, here you can see the test is still running. Let me just minimize it for you. Let me drag down. So still the test is running. So let's wait for some more seconds for the test to complete. So we have to wait until the test is completed. So let's wait for a few more seconds or else I can just, yeah. So here you can see the test is running and so far we have crossed 30 seconds and the test is running fine. Totally we have got 600 hits since we have a very less sleeping time. So as you can see here, it's just one less than a millisecond, so it is not going to stop anything. And here you can see there are already there are like 900 requests. So in case if you want to, so here you can see there the request has been failed because we have sent lot of requests within a less span of time, like 20 users with these many requests will actually create a lot of requests to the user. And here you can see we have got 1140 requests that has been hit. So in case if I want to increase the think time, I can add it in the script. So for example, here I can even add it like 20 or 50. And then if I run the command again, so let me run the command again. So previously we had around 1000 hits, and let's see how much hits do we get in this particular test, because we have increased the sleep time to 50. And let's wait for a few more seconds to see at which point of time do we get the first hit, because since we have increased the sleeping time, which is basically the think time in any other tool. So we have got the first hit, which is 20 users hit, because the 50, the number 50 we gave is just around the 50 seconds. So the time that we give in this test or in this sleeping time is basically calculated in seconds and not in milliseconds. So we have got a 1 minute of test, and in that we have got 50 seconds to be waited. So that's how why we have got the first hit after the 50th second. So it looks like this the test has completed now, and we have got 20 hits. So in case if you really want to increase or decrease throughput, we can play with the think time. So there is another option in case instead of running the entire code like this, where you enter the code with, let me just show you here. So here we have got, yeah, so instead of giving the users, the virtual users in this line here and the duration, we can even bring that in the code. So how can we bring that in the code? Like how can we implement the option of adding the code is, so here let me add the code for that. So here you have to add another option which is constant options equal to, then open and close braces, and inside this I'm going to give the virtual users. So in this scenario I'm going to give 50 users, adding a comma, and then in the next line I'm going to give the duration which is 60 seconds. So with that we have added the duration of the test and also the virtual users, and previously we had the get request and the sleep option. So I'm not going to make any changes to it. So this way we can add, instead of adding it in the command line, we can add them here and the duration here, so that the next time when we want to run a test, we do not want to give the virtual users here. So instead what we can do is just type ks run and test script.js. So this will start the test. So we have got 50 virtual users, and we will have to wait for the 20 seconds of think time, and then we will get the first hit as per the testing. So far we have discussed about the installation, how to create our first JavaScript file where we have hit the request using the get request, and also we have tested the file with different level of virtual users and different user duration, and also with different think times. So in our next video we will see how to ramp up the virtual users and how to use the other KS resources with different examples. So until then, it's bye bye from Vasan Shanmugam and Little Slaw.